All right, welcome to the live stream, everybody. I am basically going to be taking a look at the overall health of the Bitcoin market, taking a look at the 4-hour chart, kind of the longer time frames, and as always, jumping into some degen time frames as I love to do with the MDX ALGO indicators, see what they're seeing, see what I'm seeing, kind of combine the two a little bit. I can check out some altcoins if you guys want, so those of you with me in the Discord, if you want altcoin requests, by all means, have at her. If at any time you guys want to hop in the voice, feel free. Just, I ask, keep your mics muted unless you're speaking, just for feedback issues, getting echoes and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, guys, let's hop right into it. Obviously, I mean, we all saw the last couple days here, Bitcoin's been on an absolute moon mission, basically ever since breaking out of this wedge here. And those of you who were with me in my last stream, we had actually just broke down. We were trading in this little range down here below this wedge pattern. And to be honest, I was quite bearish. Just the fact that I thought we were going to end up testing this downward sloping, the upward sloping support line here. And a lot of people are watching this line, so I did mention that maybe it gets front run a little bit just because so many people are watching that level. And what I was interested to see was either taking a long off some kind of support test of this line, or if we ended up breaking back into this wedge, I figured that we would reclaim this support and then hammer through this pattern just with a little bit of momentum, and that is absolutely what happened. I mean, you can see just how well that was respected too when I really zoom in here. I mean, we got back into this wedge and tested it absolutely perfectly. Could not be more accurate. So that was pretty cool there. And then, yeah, when we got this breakout, I was actually still a little hesitant. I was taking little scalps on the way up. But really, yesterday's where I got a nicer position where when we, on some smaller time frames, when I saw that we actually broke out of this wedge, that's when I decided to go long. And I mean, we just got an absolute, like I said, moon mission from there. But I have been talking about this wedge pattern for a while because it's been respected so perfectly. And normally breakout patterns, I do find them a little bit risky just because obviously if you're going for invalidation, you're way below the pattern. But the way I was looking at this pattern is that we just had so many perfect touch points, and I love getting at least 3 touch points on a pattern, on a trend line of any kind really, before it gets an actual breakout. Before we get 3 exact touch points, I'm not as interested, you guys. So I became very interested in this pattern right at this level here when we got our 3rd exact rejection off this resistance line. And that's where I figured if we break this resistance, that's when things are going to get really juicy, because this is a massive pattern going, well, back to the end of March. If you take it all the way from back here, kind of the start of this support range. But yeah, that's the pattern I was watching. Looks like it happened to play out absolutely beautifully. We even got this 4th rejection here, so I like a minimum of 3. But when we started struggling there again, but not getting a harsh rejection, that's where I was already starting to plan to go long. I wasn't yet until we got the breakout. But just the fact we kept tapping away at that resistance, and that's a 4-hour time frame, you guys. And for those of you in the MDX Algo community, you know a 4-hour chart is an eternity for me. I love the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, up to the 1 hour usually. So 4-hour chart's actually a pretty big deal to me. So the fact that we got such perfect touch points there, I was very bullish on this pattern when I saw that it was looking like we were tackling that resistance again. So absolutely beautiful to see that. And also, you guys, you're probably well aware by now, those of you, maybe if you guys are new here, you haven't seen me talk about this, but I really can't shake the feeling that we're heading up towards 48,000 US dollars. I've been talking about this for, I think, 8 months now. It was actually even before the FTX dump, I'm pretty sure. So even, yeah, in 2022, I was talking about, I didn't think the bear market rally would top out until this level. And a couple of reasons. One is the 618 Fibonacci rejection pulled from bull market top to bear market bottom. And as well, that just lines up so well with this structure here. And I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised just because lately, I mean, this market cycle, I've been noticing these higher Fibonacci's respected quite a bit. So there's a few things to watch for. This is obviously the main level I'm watching just because in previous market cycles, we've had such violent corrections when reaching that 618 rejection. Even going back to this market cycle, this one doesn't look as aggressive, but if you actually take a measurement, I mean, that is a 40% correction once we tap that level. So very strong level of importance, in my opinion. Anytime we got a weekly candle body closing above those yellow fib lines, I mean, that's when the market went absolutely parabolic. So that's something I'm very interested in once again. If we get a weekly candle close above the 618, I think that's where I'm going to put on my spacesuit and assume we're going to the moon. I would be a little bit cautious if we break it right away. Just because I am expecting, like I'm so strongly expecting a rejection when we get to that level that if we just do break through it, I'm wondering if that's going to be an even bigger bull trap and we either test these higher Fibonacci's or even some kind of a failed break where we just have our resistance up here. If we get some kind of a pump like so and just a failed break and then see that level turn into resistance, I think that's where things could take quite a nasty dive to the downside there. But as it stands right now, the 618 has been the level of interest for me for about, the last 6 to 8 months. So I still very much think that's in play. And the interesting thing about that level is also the timing. Right from when I started talking about it, I was saying that I expect this level, if we are going to see that big rejection, I was thinking in June or July of this year. And that's right kind of where we're at right now. We're getting towards the end of June. And we have bullish structure. I mean, the fact that we had this low, lower low, had our lower high, we broke that level. Look how well we're flipping that macro resistance. That's a very important level right there. We even tested it again on the way up, and then we got that break above it, and now we're respecting it so perfectly as support on a weekly time frame. Just looking like a bull flag, basically on top of this level. I mean, this is absolutely huge, and quite honestly, even if we take a measured move here, I'm actually quite interested about this. Can I move that? Yeah, if we take it kind of from the breakout, okay, I guess we're not quite getting to that 618. If we take it from the top of the range, that would be a perfect measurement. So, I mean, depends how it plays out there, but there just is a few things lining up with that 618, so something very important that I'm keeping my eye on. I still very much think that's in play. But let's hop into some shorter time frames here. Everybody knows I love hopping into a 1 minute here and there. Looking like we might see a little bit of a retrace here. I'm still in a long position. I did, yesterday I was in a beautiful long position. I accidentally tightened up my stop loss a little too much this morning and took a bunch more profits, whatever. That's not the end of the world. But I did just about an hour ago or so get into a new long scalp here. I have been taking profits on the way up, but I am very open to the idea that we're just going to keep trending higher. You guys know that recently I've been talking about this little just a very good, strong little bit of confluence I use is the MDX ALGO 3 indicator with these reversal warnings. They're quite good at pointing out a trend, so you can see that we're just setting higher W's here, and those are all on the top. We haven't really got many for on the bottom, no support ones showing yet. But just showing that we're setting higher highs with these W's, and it's just an obvious trend to the upside. So yeah, you can say that you can look at the chart and it's an uptrend, but when you really have these W's pointing it out for you, it can be such a strong bit of confluence when you're looking for entries. So I've been absolutely loving that. So I am still keeping my position open. Just before going live here, I updated my stop loss to just below this level here. Honestly, I could probably update it kind of more since I'm looking at more of a scalp to begin with and hoping it turns into a runner. I'm going to keep my stop loss a little bit looser down here for now, but I have been taking profits along the way because we're starting to get some of these just potential top signals, losing this level of support very briefly here. Just a couple warning signs that maybe there's going to be a bit of a pullback, and I want to make sure I lock in profits because, like I said, I'm scalping right now because we're so close to that horizontal resistance that I just want to be cautious. So I'm still favoring the long side, but I am very quick to start taking profits and updating my stop loss. But basically what made me take this position, like I said, just about an hour ago or so, was just getting a few things on the indicators here. We're starting to see these bullish pivots coming into play. We're starting to see these green bright candles coming into play on the ALGO 3. But what really got my attention is we got this big wick of, obviously there's a bunch of buying pressure there. And I wanted to see if we would come back down into that green box and start closing bullish candles. That's where I was going to be interested in taking a position. And since we got this little double bottom right inside this wick area, that's why you guys probably notice in my videos, I'm a big fan of doing boxes rather than just lines. I like to take kind of the whole kill zone, which would be the whole wick of kind of our local bottom right here, right? Just in the recent price action here. I like to take that whole wick as potential support, and the fact that we got these bright green candles, even though these W's were trending to the downside, they were happening inside of a support box I was already watching, and I'm just very bullish on the market in general right now, so I was okay playing this double bottom here. That would be my blue dashed line here would be my entry. So like I said, I'm going to keep that running for now. Stop loss updated just below this level here. I'm going to kind of see what happens there. Do I remember XVG? Like Verge? Verge from last cycle? Yeah, I remember that. I had some. I remember, I can't remember who they partnered with, Pornhub or something funny like that. Yeah, I remember XVG. Does it still exist? I have no idea. I'm just catching up on the chat here, Leggies. Yeah, no sound. There should be sound. Oh, yeah. No, you got it sorted. Yeah, one thing that's interesting, guys, quite often in Discord, I find that it just changes my settings once in a while automatically. It'll change my speakers or my microphone. So if you're ever having sound issues, just go check it out. It may have just changed things a little bit. But yeah, how's everyone feeling on the market right now? Are you guys, like me personally, guys, I find it dangerous to be shorting right now. Obviously, there is plays to be made there because the markets are extremely volatile. I'm just very much favoring the long side right now. I just don't want to stand in front of a train, as I was saying in the group yesterday. I mean, the trend is your friend until the end. And I mean, even if we zoom out, let's say the hourly chart here, this just looks like almost a bit of a bull flag to me. I mean, obviously, like I said, be cautious. We are trading into that horizontal resistance back here. But yeah, this is just such a strong uptrend. And really, the way it stands right now, even on the hourly chart, this would kind of be the higher low structure that I would be looking at for support. Much like the other day when we were still trading in this wedge, guys, I was talking about that, just looking at basic market structure where we have, you know, a high here, higher high here, here's our low, get another higher high. This was now our higher low, and that was exactly the level that I was watching on the 4-hour chart, but whatever, on the 1 hour we can see it here very clearly. Just to continue a trend, that would be the higher low, and just look how well that was respected. We just basically tapped the top of it, and that was it, and then, yeah, broke out of that wedge and off to the races. So as it stands right now, this would be the higher low that I'm watching as far as the hourly chart. So as long as Bitcoin can stay above, that would be 28.6K, I think we're in a very good position. I could zoom out. Obviously, as you zoom out, I mean, even further levels down, we're still bullish. I mean, if you really zoom out, we're very bullish for quite a ways yet. We'd basically have to drop this upward sloping trend line to even start considering much lower targets. But as it stands right now, yeah, I really like where the market's at, especially that weekly. I mean, obviously, we could end up setting some kind of a failed break or a double top or something like that in this level, but I don't know. I just see that we are consolidating on top of old resistance, flipping it into support, and we've just been consolidating on top of this level, getting that flip for, what is that, 3 months now? So the market's in a very good place, if you ask me. The logarithmic chart, that would be this chart I have here. Here, I can actually erase all this stuff since we already saw it. But yeah, basically same thing, right? We have, this was our structure level, that was our lower high on a macro time frame, and we are just consolidating right on top of that level. Basically, when we got this candle body close, for one, it was engulfing this entire range here, as well as breaking that lower high structure here. That's where I became very bullish once again. That's just a macro break of structure. That's very telling on what's happening in the market, in my opinion. We obviously still have to consider the fact that we had this very strong support before we entered our bear market. And we're kind of trading right into that level now. So, I mean, that could end up being a perfect technical analysis support flipping into resistance. But I think just the fact that we've been tapping away at it for months rather than seeing some kind of a very harsh rejection here and like aiming back at our lows, this just screams bullish to me. And it really reminds me of last market cycle when we had that very strong level of support from our descending triangle. And we basically just traded below it for a month or so and then blasted right through. I just really can't help but feel that's kind of what we're doing right now. I know a lot of people have found it funny in the past that I was always targeting that 48K by this summer, but it's just the way the chart looks. This looks bull flaggy. Like I said, this just where we're consolidating, it's starting to look more and more realistic, and how big these weekly candles can get. It would take nothing, like if FOMO really kicks in here, it would be nothing for us to reach that level in the next month. In my opinion, I still very much believe that's where we're heading. Obviously, it doesn't have to happen, but it's important to at least consider all possibilities, you guys. Yeah, I could be wrong. I trade shorter time frames anyways, but just don't get too caught up in the feeling. I know a lot of people are very guilty of this, of feeling that the markets are overextended because they are so zoomed into a shorter time frame. And that's funny for me to say because I love shorter time frames than anybody. But just keep in mind that when you really zoom out, things aren't very overextended right now. We really just tested support. We are very far from being overextended on a larger time frame. But let's hop back into the 1 minute so I can babysit my position here a little bit. But yeah, what's everyone feeling? Are you guys as bullish as me? Are you guys bearish? Are you in any positions either direction? I'm feeling like we're gonna pull back a little bit here, but I can't pull the trigger on a short right now. I just can't do it. I know I'll get emotional and just cut my losses super early if I end up seeing something go against me. I just see myself over trading if I try and get into a short. Yeah, that's exactly it. If we can get above this little box here, I'm gonna throw that into a yellow as a maybe, just because I really do think we're gonna break it in the next couple weeks here. But yeah, I think if we get closes above this level, yeah, she could get juicy to the upside for sure. Still in a long from 25.6. Nice. Dust is riding the long. Nice, nice. Wondering how that fits short term with the high live level delta. Oh, the high block liquidation levels. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens there. I don't have much experience using that kind of stuff, like the high block, the heat maps, all that kind of stuff. I basically keep my analysis super simple. I draw colorful lines and I trade them. But I do like when I see people posting those. I think there's a ton of valuable information there. I just keep my stuff kind of whatever works for you, right? But as far as the weekly goes, yeah, I mean, obviously we could get some kind of a failed break at this level, some kind of a double top. You always got to be at least cautious about that. But yeah, I'm cautiously bullish right now, for sure. Like, eventually things have to pull back. I mean, it wouldn't be all too uncommon for us to get some kind of a double top here, and even to come back down and look for that type of resist support flip. Kind of, I mean, we would be able to kind of test this support back in these ranges back here, as well as retesting that wedge. I mean, that could absolutely be a possibility in the near future. Some kind of a BART pattern on the shorter time frames and just retesting down here. I think that would absolutely be a possibility. I'm just not confident enough to throw money at a short right now is all. Had a long from 24.9, but got stopped out when price came back. Spiked down before blasting off. Oh no. Hate when that happens. Probably wick down basically right to your stop loss, maybe caught it by a few bucks and then blast off from there. That's usually what happens. Yeah, that's the way she goes. The market can be a real bitch at times. What are the indicators saying on the old one? Oh, there's a lot of tops and bottoms being called here. Quite flip-floppy. You can see, interesting, the bottom signals have been setting higher lows. I have not back-tested this at all with other signals. I have been curious, wondering if you could do that same strategy like what I was talking about with the W's trending in a direction I've had good luck with. I assume many of the different signals in the ALGO 3 settings would probably do something very similar at pointing out a trend. I just don't know for sure because I haven't been using that strategy as much. Been loving the W strategy though. Just finding which way they're trending can be super helpful in the trend. I mean, even right here. Like here, we did have these up ones suggesting that we might get a higher move, but really it also depends what type of scalping you're doing. If you're okay with small moves and looking for the safe bet, I mean, you take this kind of a signal that, hey, I think we're going to trend higher, then you get this little bottom signal here, that little blue triangle, and then you take profits when you get your next W. I mean, hey, in that sense, it would have been a successful trade, so it really depends how much appetite for risk you have, I guess. But you can see that there was this warning when we got the bottom W's trending to the downside here, just changing directions. That was a very good warning that we were going to trade a little bit lower. Same with, and then here the opposite, right? We got the higher W's here, and it was once again, then you get that bottom signal, that little blue triangle, and blast it off to the upside. A few take profits. If you're just kind of looking at the other reversal warnings, some easy take profits hit along the way. I mean, it can just be such strong confluence when you're looking for entering positions. And that can be any time frame. I just bring up the 1 minute because it's what I like to trade and just what it's easiest to show it happening live, obviously. But such strong confluence when I'm picking a direction now. I've noticed in the last couple weeks, any scalp position that I've lost, it's usually been because I thought that I knew better and I ignored which way the W's were trending, and then I would get stopped out, and then I'd be pissed off at myself because it's like, well, fuck, my own strategy that warned me about this and I went against it. So it's just kind of been something that I've been very strongly considering now as almost one of my check boxes for entering a position. Especially if I'm feeling a little bit unsure, like when I get these, we had this wick zone with a double bottom there, pretty safe bet, nice tight stop loss, but once you start getting up a little bit and just wondering if it's safe, I mean, that can kind of help influence my decision a little bit, just if I should still be looking for that trade. Thumpcase posting a picture there. Yeah, see, I still love how many ALGO 3s you have up there. I promise that's on my list of things to do. I want to do that on my charts and try it out, and then we can discuss that for sure. I love when you post that. That's such a good idea to have a whole bunch of MDX ALGO 3s on, just so that you can add a bunch of different trends, because for those of you who have been in the group for quite a while and are familiar with my videos, my old favorite scalping strategy was using the trend 1 and trend 2. Just looking for basically failed breaks, reversal warnings, any sort of indication that one of the trend lines, one of the moving average trends was going to hold. That was always one of my favorite things, but so you can use 2 of them on the ALGO 3 currently, but what some people in the group have been doing is loading up 3 or 4 MDX ALGO 3s, and then you can have, as many trends as you want, so that can be a beautiful thing. I've just been busy. As a Canadian, we have long, harsh winters, and now that it's finally summer, I have been just kiteboarding a ton and just paddleboarding a bunch and just being on the river, being in the lakes, just enjoying summer. Been pretty busy. Oh, looking like we're trying to get a reversal warning. It is early to say because this candle hasn't closed yet. I'm tempted to add a little bit to my position if we get that, just because my stop loss is so far away. I could update it. I'd probably just keep it below this 5-minute trend a little bit. If we get this W close, I'm going to get an order ready on my phone, and I'm actually going to add to my position a little bit, just because I'm in a comfortable position to do so. And if we get this reversal warning inside the green cloud here, I'd be willing to roll the dice on that, but we're going to see how this closes. I have an order ready. And buy. Yeah, my average entry is still just below 30K. So even if we drop down, like I said, I do see reason why we drop down, but these trending W's, I just don't want to fight it. The fact that the tops are still trending up. Got one on the bottom here. Bullish pivot here. Did that close already? Yeah, we got the bullish pivot there as well. That's good to see with it as well. But yeah, I'm going to update the rest of my stop loss. Like I said, I was taking profits up here before anyways. And just since I'm a scalper, I'm comfortable scalping, I was taking some profits and I'm adding back into my position. That's quite often what I do when I get into a running position. I kind of add in, I remove some, add back in, take a little profits. It's not exactly the most disciplined way of trading, but it's how I'm more of a scalper than a swing trader. So I like getting into those scalp positions where I can leave them run and add to a position without adding any risk. All I can do at this point is basically miss out on some more profits, but I've already locked some in on this position and I can't lose if I get stopped out just below 30K. So that's how I like to scalp. One of these weekends we should have a a big hangout in the Discord here. Everyone have a couple drinks and we'll just get a big DGen session going. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah, big scalp party. Yeah, seems like everyone's on board. We should do that. I'll have to have a see. MDX has his sound off, but I'll have to have a conversation with him about that. Get him on it too. We'll all just hang out and drink and scalp. That would be fun. I don't like that we got this potential top here, but whatever. The supply demand, that here we go. I usually don't have it up just because I like having a very clean chart, but quite often I will use it if, let's say, if I'm like, one thing I love to do is scalp while I have 3 monitors on the go, so I'm usually playing video games and trading and watching YouTube or TV or whatever. Each screen's doing something else. So these supply and demand boxes are quite nice because they kind of, the way it maps them out is very similar to how I map out, higher lows, lower highs, etc. So it's very nice when I'm multitasking and I can look at the chart and it's automatically updating those things, especially when I'm on a shorter time frame like this. They're updating frequently and I don't have to go back and map out a bunch of boxes every few minutes. So it can be super helpful when I'm degen scalping. Typically speaking, I don't have them up, but again, that's just because I like to keep my charts nice and clean. But yeah, sometimes in scalping sessions, I'll throw them up. I definitely agree with them more often than not. I mean, like I said, they just basically map out support and resistance the same way I do. That's how I look at it more than a supply demand zones. That's just me personally. Do you do you guys all use these? I do. I really like how they do map shit out, but especially for these streams, I do try and keep my charts a little cleaner too. Just makes viewing it a little bit easier. Let's see what that's saying. Speaking of that, on longer time frames, let's check it out. Yeah, so again, I was talking about this support down here. If we were coming to kind of get some kind of a retest back down here, yeah, once again, that's just something that's also lining up with this, that we may end up getting that pullback towards this wedge, retest that resistance as support, and there's an obvious level demand zone there. So yeah, definitely something to watch for. Let's just remove all my drawings. This is straight indicator here. Yeah, see, and it mapped out resistance. I was talking about, we're obviously at a resistance level, so proceed with caution. What are the other indicators saying? I'm actually quite surprised we don't have a bearish pivot yet on the oscillator 4. And as well, we don't have the big red dot yet on the oscillator 5, but I can't help but feel it's close. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some kind of a little pullback. I don't know how drastic it's going to be. I'm not so sure that if we get a pullback, we're going to get all the way back down here. Depends how quickly people shit their pants when they realize the market isn't up only. We could absolutely dump back down to those levels, but I mean, we do have support along the way. Just we have this moving average cloud, just FOMO behind the bulls, obviously. We could see this old resistance flip into support. There's a lot going for Bitcoin right now, in my opinion. It would be healthy if we pulled back, but I don't think it's going to be anything too devastating. But yeah, got to be ready for all scenarios, right, guys? Um, See, these W's are hinting that we are setting those lower reversal points, but we are also at a demand zone. So bright green candles, demand zone, oscillator 4 up here, bullish pivot, green dot on the oscillator 5. The money flow, as far as obviously just a 1 minute chart here. We do have red money flow. That's a little bit alarming on a short time frame like that. But like I said, I'm comfortable having added to my position just to see what happens. Yeah, and talking about those supply demand zones, I absolutely think, you kind of go through one. I think it makes a lot of sense that you would just be, the price would be attracted, kind of sucked into the next one. Obviously doesn't have to happen, but there's a good chance you're just gonna, as you break one resistance level, typically you're gonna shoot right up to the next resistance level, kind of a thing. Same thing with support. You break one, you're gonna head to the next one. Supply demand zone's kind of the same thing, right? So yeah, as far as looking at things right now, kind of mixed signals. I do like that we're still above this 5-minute moving average, or the 5-minute trend. One thing that has been concerning me a little bit all day is that the price is still quite a ways away from the 1-hour trend. That's something that I feel like it's only a matter of time until we come back and test that. We've been way above it ever since, well, yeah, way back here. This is just a 1-minute chart, but this is all the way back yesterday. So a full day, we've been way above that 1-hour trend. So something we got to consider is either the price at some point is going to have to correct and come down and test that 1-hour trend, or what we could also watch for is if we just get some kind of a time-based correction. So we're just kind of chopping around sideways and we see this start coming up to the price and then get ready to boost the price once again. So that is something to watch for, something to be a little cautious about. I see the moving average cloud just flipped red too. What is the bottom of the band zone? We're kind of right at the support level that I'm watching right now as far as a very micro time frame goes. Just because obviously we kind of set this little high here, higher high. This was our higher low. We did get a little bit higher a couple times, but we were just wicking above and getting back down. So I don't know how serious I want to take that structure right now. So I'm still kind of watching this support back here. Uh, 5-minute. A W, you say? Like back here? Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah, good question. So yeah, speaking of that, here, I'm just going to clean things up a little bit. I'm going to take away the bands and the supply demand just briefly here. When I was talking about those W's trending to the upside, I mean, look how long it was that we were just setting higher, 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 like right from right here. Or no, this one, I guess. Higher W, higher W, higher, 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 higher. So this was the first time right here that we're actually seeing a lower one. So there is the warning there that the trend may be shifting, especially that we do actually have both trending lower now. Something actually, no, I stand corrected though. We got a higher one here. It's pretty flip-floppy right now. It's something worth watching for, but it can flip-flop a little bit. So it's use it as a warning. Just the fact that we had these lower lows, but then we also set higher highs. So as it stands right now, I don't know. I just can't shake my bullish bias, so I'm okay just hanging on for now. Yeah, and I mean, that's one thing that the ALGO 3 is super good at is I find it performs so well in a trending market. Whether it's, you have your W's trending to the upside, your obviously your trend 1, your trend 2, whatever you have them set to, whatever you like to trade on. Just in a trending market, those can be so powerful. I know I think it was several months ago, but I was talking about getting W's along the 1 hour trend. Obviously, we haven't had many for a while, but that can be such a strong indication as well when you get those W's close to that hourly trend here. That can be such a strong, well, buy or sell signal, depending what side you're on. But that's something that I've loved to do in the past, and that's another one of those strategies where I like to add back into my position and take profits along the way. Is if you can get into a nice scalp position, for example, and it turns into a runner, and I come back and test one of these key levels and you see those reversal warnings, it's very easy for me to just say, okay, I'm going to add into my position again. I can update my stop loss to break even or in a nice profit even. And yeah, it can be so powerful. I've had scalps that have turned into like 2-day positions, but I've been kind of in and out with part of the position, but letting it ride for a couple of days. And that can be such a powerful position to be in. It just takes a lot of the stress out. Like right now, for example, oh yeah, actually I did just get stopped out on the rest of my position, but zero stress because I took some profits off of that position already and updated the stop loss to break even on the rest. And now I just look for the next one. Being able to trade with a level head is very important. If you start panicking and you're not sure which way it's going, but you have to be in a position, it can be quite dangerous, especially when you're trading, 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame, stuff like that. Your screenshot there. So are you talking about this W? Yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah, and that would actually be, so I got into that entry on this double bottom here then. Like it was on the 1 minute, but that would have been, this would be that W basically. Yeah, like I'm still bullish. I'm still going to be swinging at longs. Even though, yeah, once again, those W's, they did warn me. I mean, I probably should have just closed another chunk of my position, but like I said, whatever. I was in a good place. It wasn't too worried about it anyways. But yeah, that's a good warning right there. Like I said, I'm not interested in playing the short side right now, but I'm going to wait a little bit before I take a new long. And again, just because we're trading at kind of 4-hour horizontal resistance, like I said, I'm quick to take partial profits on these scalps and to update the stop loss because I'm bullish but cautiously bullish. I'm going to bring up that support box again, actually. Something else I wanted to do, just for the lulz. Let's see what the ALGO 3 trade setup is saying. I bet it took a decent short at some point. Oh, yeah, I guess it probably flip-flops so much. Yeah, nailed that short, though. I generally don't really use this feature just because I love choosing my own entries, I guess. I never blindly take any indicator entries or any other trader. I like to do my own entries. But something that I really do like, if let's say I did take a short with the break of this structure or whatever. Actually, that's exactly where it did. Where it lost this little wick here. If I would have ended up taking a short there, what I more so like is seeing the take profits that this throws at you. I say this on a lot of my streams, you guys. When you're in a winning position, it's very easy to feel like the smartest man alive, or woman. It's very easy to get caught up in that feeling that you can do no wrong, and then you want to triple down on your position, quadruple down, whatever, when in reality you should probably be taking profits instead. And that's something that I really like about this, is that it's so specific and it just really throws it in your face like, hey, take some profits. If you're thinking about doing anything else, maybe think about taking profits instead. Do you guys have any specific strategies you like using the algos for, or like specific features that are your favorites? Like, I've been quite vocal about I love the W's. Those are just my favorite. The little triangles I like too. Curious if we get a close above this line, we might be breaking this very micro downtrend. We got low, lower low, lower low. That would be our lower high, lower low, lower high. If that was a W confirmed, would that be the second Elliott wave? To be honest, I don't really know much about Elliott waves. That's actually Stock Poker's. He's probably the guy that you want to talk to about Elliott waves. For Thump, it's all the trends. Yeah, I used to almost strictly just trade those trends on the ALGO 3. Like I said, now I really like my W strategy as far as providing confluence, if nothing else. tempted to swing it along again. It might be the wacky tobacco speaking, though. Yeah, I feel like it should have been taken already if I did. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's best that I stayed out. I mostly just watch the price action. I'm a very reactive trader, I guess. I more so want to see how levels are reacted before I do too much. Unless I'm like going to sleep or going out where I'm not going to be paying attention to the charts much. If we get some kind of a double bottom here, could be interesting, but it's looking weak. Yeah, since it actually got the close below, we still have downward structure here. So we had our low, now have a lower low. This would be our lower high currently. So I probably won't actually end up taking a new position this stream, just because I'll probably be wrapping up soon to start uploading. But that's kind of the level I'm watching right now. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know how familiar you guys are with basic market structure like that sort of thing. Just yeah, as we set lower lows, then I have new confirmed lower highs. So that's kind of why I'm bringing this line down with us here. Yeah, is there any, do you guys have any questions about the indicators or about any of my strategies or the settings, the features, anything like that? Because I don't really see myself getting into a new position here just because we are trending to the downside. And like I said, I have no interest in shorting. I'm totally comfortable just missing those positions. I'd rather wait for a new scalp long. So I'll probably wrap up here in a few minutes. Is there a way to set alerts on a trend line? I assume you mean the MDX ALGO trend lines. So obviously you can just do this to add a alert to that kind of a trend line. I'm not sure which one exactly. I'm still not positive which alert does what on the indicators. I really wish they would have the exact same name that they are in the settings. It would be a lot easier that way. I know MDX was talking about getting like a tutorial or whatever. I'm not sure if he ever did post anything or make a video about which one does which. So yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure which one is the trend. I know I've had it come up before. I just don't remember if that's all I did, just right-clicked on the trend and added alert. I can't remember if that's what I did. Oh boy, look who's here.
Classic. I'm in my camp.
Oh, nice ballin'. Ooh, I'm interested in building another long position through this little box here, especially if we start getting W's here. But it's risky. We still do have that little micro downtrend here. This will actually drop a little bit now. Yeah, I might start building another position just because we had this support level, and this is where I entered last time on that double bottom here. Since this is the box I was looking at, it's really looking like we're holding that support. I think if we I'm gonna start with a real small one. I more so want to add into a position down in this green box, but I'm not so sure we'll get it. What I like to see is when I look for those support boxes, for example, this is where I like to see candle bodies closing, actually getting, let's say we trade down into here and start getting those green candle bodies closing. Once again, some kind of a double bottom would be absolutely beautiful. We get some reversal warning W's in here, bright green candles on the ALGO 3, stuff like that. That's where I'd be interested in adding a nice juicy long position. Oh, you guys living like kings out there. Nice. Living the dream. Nice.
I'm in Tennessee at my buddy's farm, dropping off my emu.
Dropping it off?
Yeah, I gotta give it to him for a couple months while I run for politician. I'm gonna be traveling the state of Virginia and not have time for it, so I had to bring it here all the way out to the middle of Tennessee and drop it on off. So we're out here shooting guns, eating steaks, and having a good old time.
Nice, nice. Attaboy. If you get a strong signal from MDX after that, a TP or a W, is the strong signal then completely negated? Not necessarily, Pete. I do always consider at least closing part of my position if that kind of a thing happens. Yeah, just that could just be the way I trade too, because I am more of a scalper. I'm basically always looking for a reason to take profits or get out of my position. So at that point, even if nothing else, even if you're just taking a very small profit or even maybe a small loss, just downsizing the position in that case is something that I also consider. It really depends how confident I am in the setup as a whole, because I'm never just blindly taking a strong signal. I'd want it to line up with my own analysis as well. So that's where, yeah, if I start getting those warning signals, then I will at least consider downsizing my position, updating a stop loss, that kind of thing. Well, I wouldn't necessarily close the whole position, but obviously something to consider. But I'm a big fan of just reducing my risk in that case. If there's a trade I'm in, but something looks like it might go against me, just losing a little confidence, then I'll just lose a bit of margin on the position. Nicholas, you'll appreciate this. I bought a couple Dragon Ball NFTs today. I couldn't help myself. They were $1 each. I couldn't resist. What is more important to me? Reversal or the green dots? Reversal, like these reversal warnings. I personally like the reversal warnings. They're probably my new favorite thing. Also, I really do like these pivots, these yellow diamonds on the oscillator 4. I like those, but obviously they do have to line up with other stuff as well. They're not going to always play out just like any indicator, obviously, but I really like when we have, for example, this was almost a perfect example of what I would have thought would be a good position, is you have this bullish pivot, you got your reversal warnings, you have your bright green candle, you even had this green dot down here. We never had these ones yet, but I really like to see all three indicators lining up together, so that's too bad it never actually played out here. But it's not necessarily one signal that I respect or like more than others. It really depends on how those signals are lining up with my own analysis, I guess. It is nice to see right now, as we kind of got close to my green support box here. You can see the MDX oscillator 5 down here. We do have, we have a couple of these green dots. We also have a bullish divergence here. Have that reversal warning. We're kind of near my support box here. I'd be okay if we took a bounce from here. That's the thing, guys. Like I said, I'm really not too shocked by some kind of a little pullback, but I just don't know how much momentum the pullbacks are going to have. I'm terrified to take a short right now. Even though we're, trading up at resistance. Oh, shit disappeared. Even though we're trading at that resistance, I can't bet against the bulls right now. I'm just way too bullish on things like the weekly chart. Yes, the shorter time frames look like they need to pull back, but that weekly, oh man, that's spank bank material right there. Hey guys, I am going to end my stream just because it takes so long to upload and whatnot, but it does look like that green support box may be holding. The bottom one, the big juicy bottom one. But yeah, as it stands right now, you guys know what I'm feeling. I'm obviously very bullish, but also a little bit cautiously bullish with how I'm scalping trading right now. But yeah, I will stay here with you guys in the Discord. I just want to start uploading and stuff, so I am going to wrap up the stream, but I will still be here if you guys still want to hang out and chat and look at some charts and whatnot. So with that, for those of you who are maybe new here with me right now, I think I recognize all of you, but just in case anybody is new here, I also post these on my YouTube channel. I also post my own analysis, shorter videos like this. Yesterday I did a 16-minute video. Sometimes there's 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. But I always post the streams here in case anybody wanted to make it and wasn't able to. So they are here. As well, if I don't have time to make videos, sometimes I just post analysis on Twitter as well. StuTube Trading, all one word. So be sure to follow me there as well. And for those of you who aren't here with us live right now, I'm just one of many coaches in the MDX ALGO community. We all have, basically there's daily live streams now with different coaches and that kind of stuff. It's great community, super helpful, super friendly, good vibes only, as well as these beautiful indicators. I'll have a referral link down below in my comments. So if that is something that interests you, there's a 15% discount there. And as well, if you appreciated being able to take a look at this live stream and be included, see what we kind of went over behind closed doors, just as an afternoon event, then do me a solid and hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.